Well, since Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is coming out, I'm continuing my Jurassic Park series with The Lost World Jurassic Park. Now, after Jurassic Park came out, which was a huge success with critics and audiences, making over $900 million in the box office, and would eventually, through real releases, gross over $1 billion in the box office, and winning 3 Academy Awards, there was a lot of hype for the sequel, The Lost World Jurassic Park. And everyone was buzzing about it, like, man, this is going to be even better than the first one. And it got mixed to negative reviews. Yeah, audiences and critics weren't really so hot on it, and it even got 3 Razzie nominations. I believe that's true. I think it got nominated for Worst Remake or Sequel, or prequel or sequel. Look, that category changes throughout the Razzies, so I don't know what it was at the time. It was nominated for Worst Screenplay and something about Most Reckless amounts of damage or something. I don't know what it was. I mean, you can look it up for yourself. But yeah, people did not like The Lost World Jurassic Park. Many people calling it forced and dumb. And I don't really get those claims. I think The Lost World Jurassic Park is a really good movie. Nowhere near as good as the first one. Not by a long shot. But I do get a lot of enjoyment out of watching The Lost World Jurassic Park. And why? Well, for one, I really like that there are repercussions in this movie to what happened in the first Jurassic Park. There's a lot of controversy. There's been some non-disclosure agreements, and there were even cover-ups for the deaths of what happened in Jurassic Park. There's, again, a lot of consequences to what happened in the first movie. And now, since John Hammond doesn't own InGen anymore, the new leadership at the company wants to go to this island called Isla Sorna, which was basically the breeding ground for these dinosaurs so that they would move them into Jurassic Park. And InGen wants to take these dinosaurs and basically bring them to San Diego for a new Jurassic Park. And so John sends a team of experts to observe the dinosaurs in their natural habitat. Well, I mean, I use natural loosely because they're not even supposed to be in this time period. But all this is to create a bunch of public support against what InGen is doing with the dinosaurs, and just let the dinosaurs just roam free on their own on that island without our interference. And how does Jeff Goldblum's character Ian Malcolm get involved? Well, apparently John Hammond sent his girlfriend to the island, Isla Sorna, and Jeff Goldblum's like, wait, what? You sent my girlfriend to an island? Although she went willingly, Ian Malcolm goes to Isla Sorna so that he can go rescue her. Which really isn't that forced of an idea. Like, it actually makes sense character-wise for why Ian Malcolm would go back to an island full of dinosaurs, even though this is a completely different island. And also, I really like how Ian Malcolm has changed as a character. Because again, there have been consequences. He's seen what InGen can do. He's seen what these dinosaurs can do. And ever since he broke that non-disclosure agreement, InGen has made Ian Malcolm to look like a psycho, even though we know that he's not. Which leads to a really well done exposition scene in the beginning that explains all these controversies, and honestly, I find it riveting. It's one of the best parts of the movie, actually, and the dinosaurs haven't even showed up. Another complaint that The Lost World gets is that the characters are dumb, and I don't really see that. Yeah, they attract the adult T-Rexes when trying to treat their infant, but might I remind you that it was the hunters that injured the baby T-Rex in the first place? So, really, whose fault was it? Also, yeah, the main heroes do try to sabotage InGen from taking these dinosaurs out from the island and into the mainland. But that sounds like a good decision. Because, yeah, they do end up having some people killed, even though the people shouldn't have been taking dinosaurs out of the island in the first place. But can you imagine what would happen if the dinosaurs, especially the raptors, if they got loose in San Diego? They could probably hide somewhere in the forests and whatnot and spread all across the United States. That would be catastrophically bad. Like, way more people would have died if the dinosaurs were put onto the mainland and not just stayed on the island. I do think in the long run this was a good decision. That they should not, the InGen should not have been trying to bring dinosaurs into the United States. That's a really bad idea. But one thing I love about this movie is that it was darker than the first Jurassic Park. Because Jurassic Park was all about the wonder and awe, and then it got into some pretty suspenseful territory. But in the Lost World Jurassic Park, reflecting said consequences, I like that it goes a little bit more sinister. There's harsher shadows, the situations are more suspenseful. I like the tone of this movie. It feels like a logical direction for this franchise. This also makes for some great sequences, like the T-Rex trailer scene. My god, it features some incredible suspense and also some incredible visual effects. Like, damn, it's almost, like, the visual effects are almost as good as the first one. Sometimes even better, in my opinion. I also don't mind the San Diego sequence where T-Rex is attacking the city. It's very entertaining, and while there are a couple of gags that don't really work for me, overall I find it to be a really entertaining climax. But, as for flaws, I will say there are a few. For one, and this isn't a spoiler, you know nothing about these characters, so don't worry, it's not really a spoiler. There's a scene where you see a bunch of dead body parts on a cargo ship, but how did they die? It couldn't have been a T-Rex because nothing surrounding the inside of the boat was destroyed. So how did they die? Did raptors just do like a hit and run or something? That should have been explained a little bit better. And even though I've praised the visual effects in this movie, there are a couple of times where it doesn't really look all that good. Like, for example, there's a scene, or not even really a scene, there's a moment that's just a few seconds long where someone gets run over by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. This was not a good effect. Like, whenever the T-Rex is walking, you don't see a lot of splashing. And considering the T-Rex is walking through a wet area, there should be some splashing. Even then, that sequence in general, like I said, not even really a sequence, it's just a few seconds long. That moment was really, it wasn't really needed. Like, it felt kind of silly and kind of cartoony in my opinion. And there's also a scene that involves gymnastics. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. The gymnastics scene it's dumb, it's stupid. I don't know why that was in the movie. And also, the villain of the movie, especially around the last act of the movie, he turns into what John Hammond was in the book. Remember how I loved how in Jurassic Park, John Hammond wasn't a money-hungry bad guy, where he's not like, oh, I don't care about people, I just want money. Like, John Hammond was actually a considerate person in the first movie. Well, they go into that cliched bad guy route in The Lost World, and in my opinion, it doesn't really work. They should have had a more compelling villain in this movie. But overall, I really enjoyed The Lost World Jurassic Park. It's a really entertaining movie. It's just made very well. The effects are incredible, except for, like I said, that one moment in the movie. It's darker than the first one, which I love. It goes into really sinister territories, which, ooh, it leads to some really great suspense. And really, I do feel like this is a logical direction for the Jurassic Park franchise, considering what happened in the first movie. And so, I'm going to be giving The Lost World Jurassic Park an 8 out of 10. Is it anywhere as good as the first movie? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Jurassic Park is, in my opinion, the greatest movie of all time. But I don't hold movies to a standard where if it's not as good as the first one, it's automatically bad. Like, no, I don't go by that. I really don't. I feel like we should judge movies based on their own merits, and on its own merits, The Lost World Jurassic Park is a really solid follow-up to the first one. So, here's my question. What do you think of The Lost World Jurassic Park? Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Share the video so we can get the channel circulated. Don't forget I forgot. Don't forget to like this video. Ugh, my brain's going all over the place. Don't forget to support my Patreon on my Patreon page. And if you want to see more, click this.